Hi.
Hey, look there, stranger. How are you?
Wow, fine at last. I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Wow, I'm having to let people come in. I thought hey Glenda,
Hey, Glinda. There she is.
are you there? Can you see us?
Oh, don't laugh. I didn't want to do my hair for you guys. So
I thought maybe you're trying to be incognito with that hat on. So
this is my exercise attire. I went to the gym today and I came home and started cleaning house. And I thought, should I shower, do my hair? I thought, no, they're going to get the real
yeah,
thing.
that's what hats are for, man. I do it all the time.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's that. I've been going to the gym a lot lately, trying to get my heart rates and stuff like that kicked up. And it's like, whoa, but it works. We're getting
Well,
there.
it does. Well, it looks like Jolene's here. She's hiding behind the Black Lives Matter sign.
Oh, okay. I never thought about that. I should have found something out there that I liked. I'll put a picture of Sam up or something.
Have a picture of your dog up there.
Oh yeah. Get your
It's
hair
funny,
cut.
I didn't make any changes on the format, but it looks like I'm having to let you guys in. That's weird.
Sabrina.
Wait a minute. If I would have known that was Sabrina, I wouldn't let her in. So she obviously can't hear us.
Hello?
There she is.
You made
Donna!
it. Yay.
Hi.
Hi, sweetie.
How are
Yeah,
you guys?
Jonna showed up this evening. I didn't even recognize her. I thought somebody had snuck in and was trying to put a virus in the meeting or something.
I'm here with my virus.
Especially with
Oh,
that
it's so
big
good to
smile.
see you.
You
That
too.
big smile she has on her face. I don't know what that's all about, but I can only imagine.
Happy to be here. Happy to be here.
Aw,
Good.
we
Me
missed
too.
you. We miss
Yeah,
you.
I'm really happy. I'm happy to see everybody. But I didn't think you were going to make it till later, Sabrina.
Yeah, no, because it was pushed back, I guess, from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock my time. So I was like home by then. So it's good.
Well, that works out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep having to look at the time going, okay, and it's what time now? And it's what time then?
I know.
I always second guess myself. Wait a minute. What time is
The
it?
same. I have to be like 6, 7, 8, 9 Eastern
Uh-huh,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's only an
Yeah.
hour, but it still kind of gets messed up until I think
And
it's
me, I'm like, okay, if I push it back, then Sabrina will be there. But if I push it back, then hello in England.
oh yeah.
Lucy.
Lucy. Yeah, Lucy's like, I'm not gonna stay up
Poor
till 2 o'clock
Lucy
in the
at 2
morning.
a.m.
So,
She's a
I'm
trooper.
damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. But Lucy, if you
You're
watch
just
this,
damned.
if you watch this on the replay, we miss you. You're always a smiling face, and it's always a delight to have you. So
Yeah, that's
we
a
don't
trooper
blame
to
you for
be
going to
up
sleep,
at.
going to
No,
bed.
that's all good. Yeah.
Yeah. So how are you feeling, Glenda?
I'm actually doing pretty good. I struggle with the meds. I just have a hard time with these. I'm trying to figure out ways to get off of this statin, but he just goes, well, if I take you off, you'll be in the hospital in 6 months and I'm with stents. And I'm like, well, it took 68 years for this to show up. I don't think so.
Yeah.
So anyway, but I'm finding some alternatives that if I can, to try to do it. It's like if I don't keep something going, really stay active between 10:30 and 10:45 in the morning, my body just wants to shut down and go to sleep. Can't stand it. And so that's usually the time I hit the gym. And I'm down there and I'm working out. And if I can make it past it, I'm really pretty good. And then I come in and then it's messing with my sugar levels. I've still got to talk to him about that because in the, you know how they put out all of those little advisories on that's about 10 miles long on medications. I read in there about diabetic and sugar problems and stuff. And I am hypoglycemic. Well, I'm noticing now I have more profound problems with it. Like I'll take a walk with Sam and I'll be perfectly fine. I'll get halfway around the block and I start breaking out into a cold sweat and start shaking and I've ate. And so it's something to do with the meds. It's all it is. And I've just got to figure it out. Maybe just be a little rebellious person and just go off of them altogether. But but
So
my
you
blood
get-
pressure's in check.
Are you getting good sleep at night?
I will now. Sleep is kind of on and off, hormones. So I wouldn't fix that.
Well, yeah, it's just during that type of recovery, sleep is just so imperative. So for healing.
Yeah, I try really hard. I'm trying to maintain my schedule. I don't stay up late just because I'm retired, and I get up at a normal early hour anyway, because I just wake up. But yeah, it's been a challenge. I thought it would be a lot easier than this, but it's not. I don't know if it gets easier, but I'm determined. My intent is
That's
to be
what
the best I can.
retired is. So you get retired every day. You're tired of
No doubt, right?
Every morning you get up, you're retired.
I tell you what, boy, when you think you get on that cycle, and I do cardio for an hour. Oh dear God.
Yeah. No, so
5
don't
more
push
minutes, 1 more minute, 30 seconds.
Yeah, don't push yourself too much. It can be counterproductive.
It's just getting the breathing going. And once I can get that going, then I do pretty good. But yeah, it'll get there. I'm sure we'll figure it all out.
So
Trying to figure out
Jolene,
what-
are you with us? Or are we just seeing your poster? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, how are you doing?
Yeah, I've got a lot. Oh, I've got a lot going on, and double pulls in work conditions and very ill parents both at the same time. So I'm just right now
Oh,
praying
it's hard.
my dogs stay okay. So
Yeah.
if I drop off, you'll know why. I just
Oh, that's, yeah, bless your heart.
such a
I know what that's like. My parents were both sick at the same time, and it was, just excruciating. Matter of fact, both of my parents at one time were in the same hospital in different rooms. And it was just, it's devastating. So yeah, I wouldn't wish that upon anyone. So,
No, not at all.
well, we're
Jolene.
going to do a healing meditation this evening, so we can certainly help you out there. Well, I was hoping that we get some more people, but I'm sure delighted for the people that showed up this evening. Thank you, Jonna, for joining us again, and
Thanks for
Linda
having
and
me.
Jolene, and who's that last person? Let's see. Chloe, yeah.
Chloe.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna do something a little different to start off. I'm gonna introduce you to some bhajans. Anybody know what bhajans are?
Mm-mm.
Nobody know. How about you, Jolene? Do you know what bhajans are?
I don't recognize the name. Maybe
You
when
dropped off.
you-
never
Okay.
heard the word.
Okay, bhajans are they're kind of a cross mix, but what they're kind of like, they do it in India. They've been doing it in India. It's a very spiritual practice. They've been doing it for thousands of years. And basically what it is, it's a
Am I saying-
combination. Did you say, oh, what's the matter? Did we lose you, Sabrina? Looks like we might have lost Sabrina's.
I see her.
Can you hear us?
I can't hear you guys.
Oh, you can't? We can hear
I mean,
you?
like I hear like robotic. Now I can hear you,
Okay.
guys.
But anyway, no, we're not
I'm
playing with
trying.
you. We're
Yeah.
trying to help you there. So anyway,
Okay.
what bhajans are is it's kind of a combination of mantras or chants to music. Okay. And
okay. Yeah, I
it's
know
really
that.
cool. And this is how it works. A lot of people, they don't know how it's really cool just to listen to it, because it's really relaxing and comfortable. But the way it works, it's really neat. It goes along with the history of India. And I guess the best way to start it off is to kind of compare and contrast with the way we believe here in the United States, in the Western, and we are, even though we've got some diversity here, we're basically Judeo-Christians here in the Western part of the world. So basically that it starts with the concept of what God is. Okay. So we all know what the concept of God is from a
Mhm.
Judeo-Christian, an individual figure that is the creator of everything. And then wherever you take it from that. Okay, so when we worship our God, then we're worshiping that God individual, whatever that is, female, male, whatever it is.
Right.
So we're worshiping that God. In India, they have many gods. Oh, many, many gods. And the reason they have many gods is that their gods are completely, their idea of a God is completely different than our idea of a God. Okay. Their gods are gods that represent qualities of human beings. Okay. So that when they worship a God, they're worshiping the quality of that God instead of a God as an individual. Okay. So if that God represents compassion, then they're worshiping compassion. Okay. And so it's a big difference. They're not worshiping a being, a sentient, even a being. They're representing a quality. They're worshiping a quality. Okay. So what they have is the names of their gods represent the quality of that, the energy of that quality. Okay. So chanting or mantras that are around their gods, what they do is the words that they're using for that particular God that they're chanting about, the word itself, when they chant, creates a vibration.
Vibration, right.
And that vibration connects to your body's vibration, and it brings that quality of that God into your energetic being. You
I
see?
get it.
So it doesn't have anything to do with your brain. It bypasses your brain. It's the quality of that. So let's say we were, and I don't know, obviously they're gods, but let's say we were chanting their God of compassion, and this God had a name, Ram, which that's another one, but I'm just using that as an example. So let's say that the God of Ram represented compassion, and we wanted to get more energy of compassion into our energetic being, which would reflect in our activities, day-to-day, our moment-to-moment activities, then we would chant that name. And so the chanting would create the vibration of that compassion. It would become part of us, and it would be easier for us to display compassion outwards because it's coming from within. You see, so it's a really, really neat thing. So you don't even have to do it. You just listen to it, and that energy becomes part of you. And so it's really, really cool when people and remember, this has been going on for thousands of years, that way back when in these times, way back when, these people understood, and I don't even know if the word understood is right. They were aware of how this subtle energy works. And they knew that the best way to handle this subtle energy was to make it in a way that we bypass the brain, the personal mind. Okay, because the personal mind is going to create a story about it and going to distort it, and it's not going to do anything. It's going to buffer it, kind of. Okay, so they came up with ways to allow individuals to get this energy, this awareness, compassion, love, all these wonderful state of mind, and mind meaning the big mind, loving consciousness and stuff like that, to be able to get it into us so that we're aware of it without knowing it. You see what I mean? Because there's a difference between knowing something and being aware of it. Okay. So that's what they did. And they did it in more than just in India. And you look back at the early history of Judaism. So does anybody know what the Kabbalah is? Have you heard of the Kabbalah?
Yeah.
Know
Okay.
them by names, but I may be familiar with what they're doing. I just don't know the name.
Okay. Well, the Kabbalahs are ancient books. Okay. They were books that were written by these Jewish elders many, many, many years ago, before Christ. Okay. And so these are books, sacred books. And what they did was they wrote these books so that when somebody read the books, read the symbols in the books, the energy that was implicated on these symbols would become the part of the energy that the person that was reading the books. Okay, same thing. They were just using a different way to implicate the energy from the book that was put in there by these elders in an energetic form, so that when you read it, it would bypass your brain and become, again, part of your energetic awareness. Okay, so what I mean, again, thousands of years ago, these elders wrote these books and basically put them on the shelf and said, don't touch these books. Okay, and nobody did for years and years and years and years. And what they said was that there will come a time in the evolution of the collective consciousness of the world that the collective consciousness will reach this level that it is time to bring these books down off the shelf and start taking them into the collective consciousness. I mean, it's just, it's to me, it's mind boggling.
Fascinating.
They said, if you do it before then, it won't do any good. It won't help. So
there has to be a
it's
special
mind boggling.
time.
So again, it's not about thinking, it's about just relaxing and letting the energy become part of you. Okay. So bhajans are really neat because if I love they got a whole lot of them on YouTube, and I'll download them on my phone. And when I'm out doing my exercise or my walking and stuff, then I'll put them on.
Mhm.
And I'm just walking through the woods and listening to bhajans. And it's just a wonderful thing to incorporate. It's very peaceful, very loving. And so I decided to expose you guys to some bhajans. Hopefully that you'll enjoy it enough to start listening to them on occasion. So like I said, you can get on YouTube and type in bhajans and you'll get all kinds. The bhajans the one that I picked tonight is about 7 minutes long. The people that are doing this bhajan, this woman in particular, these were all people, and I've got another one that I'm going to put a link to when we get finished. I'll put a link to another one that's about, it goes on for like an hour and 20 minutes or something like that. It's got a whole bunch of different bhajans, one right after the next. And these people are all people that work with Muji, who is my guru in Portugal. So all these people that are doing the bhajans, these are all people that I know and that I spent time with, and they're just beautiful, beautiful people. And this lady in particular, I love her. She's just a walking heart, and she's got a beautiful voice, and she does a great job doing bhajan. So I decided to pick one of hers. And so what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to do a screen share so you guys can listen to this. And what I'll do is, if it works, I'll put this on, and then at the end of the bhajan, like I said, I think it's like 7.5 minutes, then I'll turn it off and we'll start talking about anything you guys want to talk about. And then, like I said, we'll end with a healing meditation.
How long did you study?
Sorry?
How long did you study that?
I've been studying this for 35 years, but I spent time in Portugal with Muji at his ashram.
Cool.
And so, yeah, so every morning when we would meet, we would do, for about an hour, we would do bhajans. And so that's how it started the morning. And it was just fantastic. So anyway, so I hope you enjoy it. And I suspect that you will. So I'm going to see if things get really screwy. I don't know, because guys know my technical skills are not the best. So
Yeah,
I will
too.
try to screen share this with you guys. So hang on. Okay, can you guys see her?
Yes. I can.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. Her name is Amkara.
Oops.
And so let's see if I can get it started.
Uh-oh. Where-
Can you guys hear this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not now.
Yeah, not now.
There you go.
All right. Did everybody hear that?
Yeah, it was very nice.
It was very comforting.
Okay, cool, cool.
So is that what Om Namah Shivaya is?
That's a chant. Yeah, yeah. You know, everybody
It's a
knows.
bhajan?
Yeah, well, it's a chant that they made into a bhajan. Okay, so
Oh,
everybody
they
knows
made
what
it into a
Om is.
bhajan.
Yeah.
Everyone's heard of meditation Om. You know, was anybody know where that comes from?
It's the vibration of the
The
planet,
sound.
Of the
It's-
universe.
Well,
the Earth.
it's the vibrational of the universe, of consciousness. Okay, and all right. So again, I'm not a expert in the Bible. But we all, according to the Bible, then God there was God, and then there was the voice of God. Okay, so what that means that God consciousness was a presence. Okay, so then the next thing that came was the voice of God, and that voice of God is Om. That's the closest thing that we can experience as being the voice of God. So that vibration was the voice of God, and from that vibration, energy manipulated itself to create the heavens and the earth. Okay, so that Om, and so that's why so many people in other parts of the world use Om as their meditation. You'll see a lot of times when you're listening to bhajans, they'll start off and they'll say, let's do 3 Oms or something. And so everybody collectively will do 3 Oms, and then they'll go into the bhajans. So that's, again, it's all about energy. It's all about energy. And it's really, really, really good for you. Really good for you. So, well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. And I hope that you can,
I listened to Diva Premal, I guess is what it is. She has quite a few chants that she does. Absolutely beautiful voice.
yeah,
And I'll just put her on when I'm working around the house.
it's really, really good for you. Yeah, it's not just entertaining, but it's really, really good for you.
No, yeah, and you find yourself learning the words.
Yeah.
And then you can sing it. Yeah.
Yeah. And when you're singing it, remember you're creating that vibration.
Well, you know that one that one chant that you showed us a while back, the Om Bada, something like that. Anyway, that one that you showed us, I used to, after out of surgery, I would lay and listen to that with my headphones on and would feel the vibration because I was trying to, because my chest felt so heavy. So I would lay and just chant with that even in my hospital bed.
Yeah, that's cool. Really good energy. Yeah. Okay. Well, good.
Cool.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Is it the same thing as kirtan or whatever? Like I went to many ashrams and they would do kirtan in the evening.
I've
it the
not
same
heard
thing?
that word.
Okay.
So was it similar to that? Were they singing chants?
Yeah, a call and response, and lots of like, drumming and call and
So
response.
did you go to India?
No, but I did multiple retreats with different like yogic ashrams and also the Art of Living. Are you familiar with that?
No.
I think I asked you that.
Whose ashrams were they?
Well, the art of living is Ravi Shankar,
Okay.
guru, yeah. And he's like head of the largest NGO, whatever. Like he goes into prison systems and to third world countries, and he teaches people this type of kriya, this breath work
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
healing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's incredible. Like if any of you guys, like you guys should look at, it's all over the world, art of living. It's incredible. So like the first level, you learn like the basic yogic tenets or whatever, but then you go into like the deep body breath work. And I've done like many of those retreats that are 7 days of silence. And I've done them in Canada and in DC and in New York, and they're amazing.
Oh,
I can't recommend them enough. Yeah. Art of living. It's incredible. And then the other ones were, I did Shivananda, and Shivananda Yoga Ranch and the Himalayan Institute.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got quite a few good ones. Adyashanti has a real good one in Washington State. So there's quite a few good ones. Sadhguru, he's from India, and he opened one in Tennessee outside of Nashville in the mountains, and that's a consecrated place. So consecrated places, you go and you just sit there. And again, that energy becomes part of you. You don't do anything. You don't even have to meditate or anything. You just sit there, and that energy.
absorb it.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know if when you were listening to them sing their bhajans, there was a bunch of pictures on the wall, and some of those were old gurus, and like one of the gurus was a guy named Ramana. Has anyone ever heard of him?
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah, well, Ramana, he was an interesting guru. He was he went into a cave and was in a cave for 20 something years and just sat in meditation for 20 something years. And then he came out of the cave and he didn't talk. He wouldn't talk to anyone. And he's really cool because they show pictures of him when he was a little boy, and he had this loincloth on, and he wore a loincloth. That's the only thing he ever wore his whole life, was this loincloth. And so anyway, he when he came out of the mountain, out of the cave, he went to his place, this ashram that he had created, and he sat there, and he never said a word for years, never said a word. And so people would come and just sit by him and pick up his energy, and energy exchange. And that's all they would do, just sit there and sit there and sit there. And years went by. And finally he picked up a stick and started doing letters in the sand with a stick. And then eventually started talking again. And then he ended up, some guy was a translator and made a book, was in one of his books, was really, really outstanding. So, or his only book. So his whole thing, and he was, if you look, you saw the black guy with a beard that was in that video, that's Muji Baba. That's my guru. And his guru, is a guru called Papaji. And Muji's actually from the Caribbean. His guru was Papaji from India, and Papaji's guru was Ramana. So they all go back. So, but yeah, so it's really, really cool. Papaji is just a great, great guy. He died too, but really neat. When you get involved in that, it's really, really a special thing. So
Takes you to a special place.
yeah, it
Yeah.
does. It does. So anyway, well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. So whatever you guys want to talk about, we'll talk about, and then we'll do a meditation. So anybody want to talk about anything health-wise?
I would.
Yes.
So this thing with Rhett that's happening right now, where he didn't eat, hasn't been wanting to eat and so forth. Is there something that if this happens again tonight, we haven't had dinner here yet. He's just been laying around all day. He's kind of moved from one place to another place to another place, and just hanging out, not acting weird today. He was acting a little weird yesterday. But if that's like a fur ball or got full of fur or something, because that did happen one other time, is there something I could give him to like help bring on make him barf up a fur ball, or should I just ignore him? Or I don't know how long to wait if he.
Well, I think that would be an assumption on your part that it would be a fur ball. And now if he did something many times, if he had a history of this, and this is what he would do, I think somewhere that you mentioned that he had done this before and he'd spit up a hairball and then he felt better. And I'm not saying that that's not what's going on, but I'm saying that it could be that, it could be a whole lot of different things. I remember when I graduated from veterinary school, and we had to take our boards, our national boards and our state boards. The easiest question on the whole boards was name 25 things that will cause a cat not to want to eat. So, I mean, and that was 25 diseases that would cause a cat to go off of its food. And the point that they were making was that just about anything can get a cat to go off of its food. Okay. Yeah. And so it's funny because I had a couple of phone consultations today that were really similar. They both had pets that had chronic GI problems, that had lost their appetite, would not eat anything, that weren't eating at all. And I mean, they had been on appetite stimulants and everything else. And so I'll share this.
For how long?
Months. Now we're talking about totally off of food. One of them just got out of the hospital yesterday. And so it's been ongoing, getting progressively worse. But the point that I'm making is that when you have a pet that doesn't want to eat, and we could sit there and say, it could be a fur ball, it could be kidney disease, it could be liver disease, it could be pancreatic disease, all these diseases that I listed, okay, that could cause a cat to stop to not want to eat. But the disease, okay, if you look at it closer, and say, okay, why is it that if my dog's or my cat's got a pancreatitis, what is it about pancreatitis that causes them not to want to eat? In other words, what is it specifically that is causing them not to want to eat? Okay. Well, probably, and this is not anything that I've ever seen data on, but in my experience, when there's a pet that's not interested when they're not, you can't get them to eat, or their appetite's off, okay, then probably if it falls into one of two categories. Exactly why, the reason they're not eating, probably 80% of the time, the reason that they're not eating is because they're nauseated. Okay. Mm-hmm. And we've all been nauseated, and you know what it's like. If you feel nauseated, the last thing in the earth that you want to do is eat something. And that's the same thing with our pets. If they're feeling nauseated, they're not going to be interested in food. All right. So probably, and I'm just throwing these numbers out because by far the majority of the time it's nausea. Okay. So if they're nauseated, then again, pancreatitis causes nausea, liver disease causes nausea, kidney disease causes nausea. You see where I'm going with this? Okay. Mm-hmm. But it's nausea that's causing them not to eat. Okay?
Right.
Okay. So this one lady that I consulted with today, she can't get her dog to eat anything. And they have been given this dog injections of anti-nausea medications. It's called Serenia. And so what we do clinically, from a Western medicine perspective, if we sit there and we have a pet that is not eating, and we say, okay, the majority of the time, the reason it's not eating is because it's nauseated. So why don't we give it something for nausea? Because if we give it something for nausea, and most of the time it's via injection, because if they're vomiting, you poke a pill down, and a lot of times they vomit or they'll vomit the pill up. So we give them an injection of an antiemetic, something to knock the nausea out. And then we watch. And so if an hour later they're hungry again and they go over and start eating their food, then we haven't cured anything. All we've done is knock that nausea out. You see what I mean? But we know why it's not wanting to eat. All right. So what we're doing is we're saying, okay, we're going to knock that nausea out, get you to start eating while I investigate why you're nauseated. You see? And so sometimes we're using that because we can't really ask them, why are you I don't feel like eating because I feel like I'm going to throw up. They can't tell us that. So that's what they've been doing. They've been giving this dog all this anti-nausea medication. It's not working. Okay. When I started talking to her and I read the medical records and everything, it became apparent to me that the reason that the dog wasn't eating is because it's not because it's nauseated. It's because it's got a lot of abdominal pain. And that's the second most common reason. Okay. And all I started doing was asking her questions. And she described a dog that perfectly, hers is a dog that's perfectly showing symptoms of abdominal pain. Okay. And it's grunting, it's shallow breaths, it can't get comfortable, it lies down, gets up, lies down, gets up, because when they lie down, it puts pressure on their abdomen and that hurts them. So this dog's in obvious abdominal pain. And so what does a pet do that's got abdominal pain versus nausea? Do you think they've got
Walks around.
Well, yeah, they walk around, they can't lie down. But what about the difference between their appetites? Would you think that a dog?
They're hungry.
Bingo, that's it. They're hungry. They are hungry, but they don't eat. And why don't they eat if they're hungry?
Because it hurts them.
It hurts.
It hurts.
That's right. It hurts them. So what do? They go to their food bowl and they look at it, and you could visualize what's going on in their mind. I'm hungry. I want to eat, but I know that if I eat this, it's going to cause me pain. And they turn around and walk away. That's exactly what this dog was doing. And they had not given this dog anything for pain whatsoever. So this lady happened to live in Spokane. And so I told her that you need to get this, and we're using Western stuff because we want to get this dog eating something now. And so they wouldn't even prescribe any medications for this dog to get something for pain. I mean, it was just bizarre. So I had to, fortunately, she lived here in Spokane, so I could write prescriptions for her to go to the pharmacy and pick it up. But they wouldn't even, she called them back and said, I'd like to get something for my dog's pain, abdominal discomfort, because I think that's why they wouldn't even consider sending home anything for it. It was bizarre, just bizarre.
Why?
That's it.
Yeah.
I don't have a clue. I don't have a clue. I can't answer. I don't know. But I was just thankful that she didn't live in North Carolina or something like that, so that I could call a script in. But that's what I'm saying, Jonna, is that could be nausea, could be abdominal pain. But if you can get a sense of what it is, then if it doesn't get better on its own, then you can do something for that, you know? So what does that mean? What can you do? Well, you can go, let's just say that he hit a plateau and he wasn't getting any better, and he was only eating 10 or 20% of his food. Well, then of course you want to take him in and get him checked out, because again, we got this long list of things that could be making him nauseated and making him sick. But the point is that, let's say right now you sit there and say, what can I do about nausea? What can we do? What if we think that Red is nauseated? What can we do right now to help help Red?
Some ginger.
Ginger? Yeah. So how do we give ginger? Don't we have to give ginger orally?
Via orally.
Okay. Yeah. So do you think we're going to have trouble getting?
What point?
Well, yeah. You think we're going to have trouble getting?
Nausea points.
Yeah, acupuncture points. Acupuncture points. That's what I was telling both of these ladies, that they really should get some acupuncture done, because the acupuncturists can do the same thing that the herbs can do, and we don't have to worry about having to get it down them by mouth, you see. So we can activate points. So if we think that the two most likely possibilities that Red is not wanting to eat is either nausea or abdominal pain, what points are we going to use?
ST36.
Stomach 36 is really, really good for abdominal pain in the caudal abdomen. Yeah. So stomach 36. What else? What about nausea? What's our main point for nausea?
Look it up.
I can't remember.
Is it bladder something?
You guys got to start learning this stuff. This got to be walk around.
I don't have it memorized, but
that's horrible. You know what you just
21.
described?
What is this point? What is this point right here?
Stomach 60.
Stomach.
Pull out the book.
You sound like me, Sabrina. Sound like me when I was in school. I used to yell out these things and they would be so far wrong that
I got 36.
Shake their head at me. And
you know what you described though about the pain part is like he went over, he wanted to eat last night. He went over, wanted to eat. We started eating yesterday. He ate most, left about 10% behind. then felt crummy. Then last night he came over, he wanted to eat, and then he just like took 2 licks and then walked away. And then same thing a little bit later, I offered him more, same thing. This morning he comes down to eat, he's hungry, but not like normal. Normally he's pulling down the dish towels and meowing and all this, and he's just sitting there waiting, but he was hungry.
Yeah.
And he ate like 20% and then walked away.
So how
And
did
then he just moved around, lay somewhere for an hour, lay somewhere in front, get up, so he was restless. He was restless on the bed last night.
So it sounds like discomfort is his cause. Okay. And because
Pericardium 6.
pericardium,
Thank you.
there you go.
Oh,
Nausea, for nausea.
I haven't gotten it.
Number one,
into it.
pericardium 6 is the best thing for nausea. Absolutely the best point. Remember I told you about when you're sitting in an airplane, you get some turbulence, start getting nauseated. Just put some pressure right there at pericardium 6, and there goes your
That's
nausea.
right.
All right.
Mhm.
You guys remember that.
Where's that on the cat though?
Same place,
Okay.
on the forelegs or the back legs or?
forelegs. Okay, because you got 2 bones, remember, in your front leg, right? I mean, you're in our arm and their front leg. There's 2 bones. All right. So you got a bone here and a bone here, and then you have a space right here. You can feel it. Feel that space in between the bones? That's called the interosseous space. All right. So, and then what do we have? What's this thing called right here? It's our wrist crease. Dog's got one, cat's got one too. That way you see what I mean, do this. And then, so you have this crease right here. All right. So you find the crease, you go down the interosseous space, 2 soons. There's pericardium 6.
Okay, cool.
Really easy to find. Same thing in the cat, same thing in the dog. And if you're really cool acupuncturist, then what you do is you get a needle here and you go all the way through the leg, come out this side right here.
What?
And then when you do that, you're activating pericardium 6 and triple heater 5. You get 2 for the price of 1.
No way.
Way.
What?
I've done it with animals. I even did it with Lisa one time. So,
But she liked you.
Sounds
no, she didn't even know.
horrible.
She was there laying there with her eyes closed, and I just went all the way through, and she was like, "Oh my
Is out
God."
the other side?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I'm serious.
Oh my God.
Same thing. You know where kidney 3 is? Anybody remember kidney 3? Down there inside the Achilles tendon on your heel, by your heel.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So what do? You put a needle in kidney 3 and go all the way through and come in on the other side, and you get kidney 3 and bladder 60 both. So if you've got a kidney problem and it's causing low back pain, you get both of those with 1 needle.
oh my
I won't be
God.
doing that to myself. No.
No, I
Then
didn't know
there's
that was
one- then there's-
possible.
Then there's this one right here that you go all the way through and come
No, come on.
Is this what acupuncturists do on Halloween and horror
I was
stories or
just gonna
something?
say, that's a
Okay,
Halloween
yeah, that's
acupuncture
right.
trick.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Okay, let's go back to Johnny because we haven't finished addressing Rhett. Okay, so physiologically speaking, okay, if somebody eats something and that causes abdominal pain, then obviously it's the gastrointestinal system. Okay, so what could that mean? What part of the gastrointestinal system could we be working with?
Could it be the pancreas?
Pancreas is major because what happens when food hits the stomach, then that sends a reflex to the brain to release digestive enzymes. Okay, so it activates the pancreas. So if the pancreas is mildly irritated or inflamed, then when it gets activated, it's going to cause abdominal pain. So pancreas is 1 or 2 on the list. So yes, it could be pancreas. What else could it be? What about the stomach itself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's what this dog that I had this afternoon, that's what this dog's problem was. That's where its pain was coming from, was what we call the gastric mucosal lining, because this dog had a chronic problem and had a real sensitive stomach. And then what they do, they started treating this dog with prednisone, and prednisone just pushed it over the edge. And I suspect it's caused a bunch of gastric erosions. So this dog is got a lot of pain in the stomach itself. And so same thing. So it could be in the stomach itself. So we've got pancreas and we've got stomach. Those are the 2 most likely possibilities. Okay. Then you could sit there and say the upper gut, but those are way down here. So pancreas and stomach. So what points, if we've got pain in that area, what point, if we want to address pain, which ones could we do? Anybody got? Okay.
Um,
Okay. Remember we talked about the bladder meridian? Okay. We
Yeah.
talked about how you can treat any.
BL 40. But
Okay.
that's hip and knee, isn't it?
Yeah, that's for pain, but I'm talking about for those two areas,
Yeah.
the stomach and the pancreas. What 2 points?
Bladder 21.
The gallbladder?
Somebody said bladder 21.
Yeah,
What is
BL
that?
21.
Bladder 21 is the point for the point for the stomach. Yeah.
Last vertebrae down.
So bladder 21. What about bladder 20? What's that?
That's the spleen.
Spleen. So what is spleen synonymous for? Spleen in pancreas, spleen in Chinese medicine and Western medicine is pancreas.
Okay, I need to put that in my notes.
So we're
Say
gonna
that again?
So the spleen is, if you were to translate splenic function in Chinese medicine, we would point at the pancreas. Okay.
Huh.
So if we're going to treat the pancreas, then we're going to treat spleen points. Okay, because it's synonymous with pancreas. All right.
Okay, so,
So bladder 20, that's the spleen. Bladder 21 is for the stomach. So you're going to hit both of those points.
Okay.
And then what else?
points.
Did anybody watch that? Did anybody read that post that I did about the yin meridians in the back leg?
Part of it.
Part of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't get that far.
I
Liver.
just copied it and put it in my notes.
Okay.
Me
Liver.
too.
Liver 13 and liver 14 are really, really good for abdominal pain.
I have some stuff on that.
It's also good for food stagnation. And what would that benefit? If he had a hairball right there, then it would help move that hairball along.
Okay.
Okay. So liver 13, liver 14.
Liver 13 and liver 14 moves hairballs.
Where's
Well, it's-
where is that located? I don't have. I'm not sure where my book is right now.
Okay.
I'll find it. But
Liver 14 is at the bottom of the last rib. So you follow the rib all the way down and then you drop off and it's right there. Okay. So that's liver 13. Liver 14 is the sixth intercostal space. You know what intercostal space is? The space between the ribs,
Mhm.
because the ribs are called costal. Okay.
Mhm.
So the little muscle tissue between the ribs are called intercostal spaces. So you go up there and you can either count backwards or you can't remember how many ribs the pet has. You can either, so you find the sixth intercostal space
The sixth one, right?
and then you go down to the line of the mammary glands. All critters have mammary glands, males or females. So you follow it down to the line of the mammary gland and that's where that liver point is.
okay.
Dr. Thomas, can I ask a really dumb question? Like you
Like the one you asked. earlier.
What? I didn't ask any.
You know, Jesus.
Dumb question to ask. Is this a dumb question?
What's the point right here? Stomach 36?
Oh yeah.
I love
Stomach
it.
60.
love it.
No,
Go ahead.
but like you've recommended a whole number of points down the hind limbs of Chloe for various reasons.
Very strong
Is
point.
it, can you palpate down the legs and like, because I'm looking at the charts and stuff, but I don't know exactly where everything is. So I'm like doing a massage down the whole leg. Does that benefit? No, you
No,
have
well,
to know.
Are you using that for location? Is that what you're trying to do?
Yeah, I mean, like, and especially like in times of emergencies and stuff, like if Bex is sick in the middle of the
Because you
night or
don't know
whatever,
where exactly it's at.
Exactly,
Get it?
exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to grasp everything that I remember, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, it's got to be one of these areas. I remember those meridians running down the back legs, and I'm just
Yeah,
like going
Yeah.
methodically
That's
down the
okay, 'cause
leg.
remember, a lot of it's focused intention that's working. But so, yeah,
Okay.
but
And you always said we could do that.
yeah.
I thought, yeah. Mhm.
So the other thing too,
But
remember,
like
that
just
some people-
grabbing.
some people will say that you can actually feel an acupuncture point. That's not true because the acupuncture points are subtle energy. So it's like me saying, put your finger on compassion. You're not going to do it. But there's some people that believe there's little indentations there where the point lies, but it's not the point itself. Okay.
Mhm.
So for FYI, but that's why we measure everything, you know, and remember our measurement for finding points is called a soon, C-U-N, soon.
Mhm.
So, and that's the width of a rib. Okay. So the width of a rib, a soon for Chloe is going to be a different size than a soon for Rhett. Okay.
Okay.
Because Rhett's rib is going to be much smaller than Chloe's rib. Okay. So that's how it individualizes everything. So that's what I was saying. When you're finding pericardium 6 in the human, you go here, then you go 2 soons down the interosseous space. That's where the pericardium meridian runs right down the middle. So you're going 2 soons. Well, in the human, a soon is about 1.5 times our finger. So we're going down about to right here. Okay. So it's all relative.
Mm.
So my rib's going to be bigger than your rib's going to be bigger than your dog's rib's going to, you know, and so it's all relative. So back to Jonna. So we're going to do liver 13, liver 14, bladder 20, bladder 21, pericardium 6, stomach 36, and I would also do gallbladder 34. I like gallbladder 34 because it moves energy. It's moving energy. And I would throw in spleen 6 as well, because spleen 6 is the master point for gastrointestinal problems. So I think if you hit all those points, then you'll be in good shape. Should see some improvement. So how are you activating?
Pancreatitis.
How are
Unless
you
it's
activating
pancreatitis or something.
I think in my experience with, and this is pretty cool to remember too about pancreatitis. The number one symptom for pancreatitis in the dog is vomiting. Okay. You're not hardly ever going to see a dog with pancreatitis that doesn't vomit. The number one sign for pancreatitis in the cat is abdominal pain. You're never going to see a cat with pancreatitis that doesn't have abdominal pain. If I have a cat that comes into my office that's got pancreatitis and I go to palpate its abdomen, he's going to bite me.
Okay, I touched his whole stomach and all that, but I mean, I wasn't poking in the guts and stuff, but on the outside, nothing. Would it be on the outside?
What if you gently did this?
I'll try
Even
it.
picking him up by the abdomen, that is usually enough that will
Okay.
get him. Anybody ever try to pick a dog up and it act like it hurt him?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Why? Can anybody imagine why that happens? Happens all the time.
Mhm.
So, and I'm not talking about if you were picking up an injured dog or a sick dog, you would put one of your hands back behind his rump and then you know, lift them up. But I'm talking about people that reach down, they put their hands around their dog, its chest area, its abdomen, and they lift it up, pick it up like that, and they really react.
Yeah, that hurts.
Yeah. And why do you think that is?
They're
Compressing the belly.
They're putting
pressing
pressure.
this. They're pressing the stomach, but it also goes into the pancreas.
They're putting pressure on liver 13, liver 14.
Oh.
When you pick up a cat or a dog and by that area and they react, that's telling you that those 2 points need to be treated. They're painful points. They're telling you that I got a problem with this. What in the Chinese medicine, it means I've got stagnation in that upper abdomen.
Okay, so where should I go? First thing I should do sounds like that is touch him there and see if he reacts.
I don't think I would do that. I mean, why cause more stress to him? You've already, it's probably a good indication already that he's got some abdominal pain. I would just go ahead and treat those points.
Okay, and that alone should get things better if he's got something.
I think it will definitely help. Yeah.
Is he having a bowel movement?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good thing. That's a real good thing. Means things are moving.
So he's nothing's plugged.
Okay. First of all, hairballs. All right. Hairballs in cats. I've been in practice 40 years and I've never ever had to go in and get a hairball out. So the whole thing about having to have a hairball surgically removed, they're as scarce as hen's teeth. Okay. Most of the time they'll pass them. All right. That's the way it's supposed to do. They're supposed to pass them. So very, very rare for you to have to go in and get one. So I don't really get too excited about hairballs unless they're happening all the time. I had a lady that came into my office when I was still seeing pets that her cat would vomit hairballs 12 or 15 times a week.
Oh, gosh.
And so
Where's it all
obviously,
coming from?
obviously it was, obviously a GI problem, and we put it on some herbs and it totally went away. And so her problem was again, stagnation, not enough energy wasn't moving through the abdomen. So,
Okay.
but yeah. So hairball on occasion, no big deal. Lots of hairballs all the time. We got a problem.
No, we get them rarely, maybe one a month or every few weeks. But when this happened prior, like sometime in the last year, I had talked to you about it and I was just getting ready to take him to the vet. It was the second or third day and he vomited. It was like a pile of grizzly bear poop. It was so huge, this pile of fur that came out of his stomach. And I've been a little bit remiss lately on brushing because he's not cooperative and I've been busy and I haven't brushed him as much as I should. And I'm just feeling like maybe he just got a big ton of it. And I mean, I hope that's what it is, but we'll see. But I mean, I had never seen anything like what came out of him after he hadn't eaten for a couple of days. I know his stomach was filled with fur.
So what could we do? Let's say that we knew that there was hairball in there, that he was having trouble moving into the intestines. Now we've done acupuncture points can help move. Okay.
Mhm.
So what about what could we give him orally?
I was thinking like coconut
Slippery
oil.
elm.
Slippery elm. Coconut oil would be good. Yeah. Anything that help lubricate it. Okay. Even tuna oil, oil out of a tuna fish.
Oh, tuna. Yeah, that'd be better than coconut because of the fat.
Yeah. Tuna oil works really well to help collect that hairball and start moving it down. So yeah, that's another option.
Slippery elm. Okay.
All right.
Okay. I was so excited. His birthday's next week, and he's just been doing so great, and he's just handsome and happy, and all this, and then all of a sudden, and I'm leaving town. I'm going on vacation on the 4th, but I'm not leaving yet, but it's like a week and a half away. I'm going to be gone for 9 days, and I have been a little nervous about that because I have a new person staying. But she was here last night when I was demonstrating the meal process to her, and he sat there and was watching, and then all this, and he just like sniffed it and left.
Well, I would, because of the fact that you're getting ready to go on vacation, I would do those points this evening, maybe do them again in the morning. But if he doesn't rally within, certainly 48 hours, you might need to take him in.
Okay.
Because you don't want to, be dealing with that and then
No.
take off. You want to get that resolved
No.
before you go.
No,
Yeah.
I couldn't leave if he's sick.
Yeah. I mean, nobody could, in spite of what the leaves are doing in the Northeast.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Beautiful.
right. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, let us know.
Okay, I will for sure.
Jolene, how you doing, sweetie?
Oh, I'm over here getting my dog's food ready.
Okay. All right. Quiet.
It's fun to focus on my dogs. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But now I'm my latest canine intake, little sweet Georgie. Now she's been throwing up the last 3 nights, and it's like, oh my, better wonder about pancreatitis now. We go to the vet on Friday. Tomorrow already.
Remember, pancreatitis will knock them on their bottoms. I mean, the pancreatitis really makes them sick.
Oh.
Yeah. So pancreatitis really doesn't drag on. Pancreatitis can often be a mild pancreatitis can often be self-limiting, because what happens is they get a little pancreatic flare, and then and this is typically what happens in a dog, not so much in a cat. So a dog gets a little bit. Let's say that this happened one time. We had a big 4th of July party. Okay, and we had a big barbecue, and so people are eating barbecue, and what do? They get a rib or something like that, and they give some to their dog. Well, this dog gets this barbecue, and it's high fat, and so this high fat triggers a pancreatitis, and so the dog gets a pancreatitis, and so a lot of times if it's really mild, then what they do is they get sick, they get nauseated, they'll get a little tummy hurts them, and so they turn their nose up at food. They just want to be left alone. So what happens is, because they're anorexic, that it rests the pancreas. And when the pancreas is resting, it deactivates itself and the inflammation goes down. So what happens is 24-hour fast, because they don't feel like eating, resolves the pancreatitis.
Resolves the issue.
Yeah, so that's why a
Mhm.
lot of times in mild pancreatitis. And so what I've seen over the years is that dogs and cats that develop pancreatitis to the point they have to be hospitalized will have a history of having vomiting episodes and being off their food for 24 hours. And so what it's done is progressively gotten to where the pancreas is more and more sensitive, so that the mild pancreatitis are now becoming more moderate, and then they end up in the hospital. So Jolene, in your situation, it doesn't sound like a pancreatitis because of the fact that it's lingering on for days. And that's not typically what a pancreatitis does.
Yeah.
It either gets bad or
Oh.
it gets better, but it doesn't linger. So, but they're,
Okay, something else.
just remember, if you're going in tomorrow, you said Friday, don't forget you want to fast tonight.
Mhm.
Remember, you don't want them taking,
Why?
you don't want them taking blood. You don't want to feed him in the morning
Oh,
and then do blood work tomorrow morning. Remember, when we do blood work, we want a 12-hour fast. Otherwise, you might as well throw
why
your,
did I not know that?
yeah.
They usually say after midnight, don't feed them, but you want it
Yeah.
more than that.
How many people said, oh, I don't get a stay. I'm going to stay up till midnight. So I don't, I tell people just take the food away from them when you go to bed. That's what I tell them.
Yeah.
And don't feed them in the morning, but you have to leave water up. But the point is,
Mhm.
and Jolene, you guys, I know you
Mhm.
guys have heard me tell my staff at my hospitals, they know that if somebody came in for blood work and they had not told them, reminded them to fast them, they knew that they were going to be in big trouble. Because before I ever did any blood work, I always said, did you do a fast? Did you do a fast? And if they said, oh, nobody told me to, then heads were going to roll. So it's the veterinary staff that is responsible for telling the client, if you're going to get blood work tomorrow, you need to fast overnight. That's something that most people don't know that. So it's our responsibility at our hospital to make sure that you do that. Okay. So
Okay.
I know we talked about that one day when we talked about lab work.
Mhm. We did.
Yeah, got to do that. So if you're taking that little guy in the morning,
11:30 appointment, so.
fast him tonight. That way you know that the blood work they're going to do is going to be accurate. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So what
Okay.
else?
So anyway, she's been throwing up for last few days, but she isn't the one I was as worried about these days. What concerns me is Mary Lou, my coon
Yeah,
hound,
sure.
about 17 years old, I guess. I felt her overcome severe allergies,
You did
minimizing
a
the
good job.
seizures. Yeah, gosh, it was bad. And she just had one seizure yesterday, and it's been a month. She keeps hacking, and the mucus hacking seems to be getting worse.
Okay. Do you think she's got any acid reflux or anything?
No, rarely. Okay, maybe there's no rarely. Rarely any food comes up. Very, very little.
Okay.
So mostly it's mucus. Sometimes, and she's drinking a lot. Overheated, she's drinking a lot. Sometimes she'll throw up right after drinking. So it's mucus plus water.
So she actually vomits water. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now she's had some kidney problems, hasn't she?
Yes.
Okay.
She's on Romania
Anya,
as
okay.
one.
And that's again why she's drinking more water, is because of the kidney scenario.
Okay.
So the mucus thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So she's drinking water, and unless she's on some meds that are causing that, and then what she's doing, she's telling us she's yin deficient. Okay, that's why she's drinking water. So if she's yin deficient, then we say, well, that's obvious because she's got kidney disease. So what does that mean? We talked about this before. with the fact that if they're yin deficient, then that really affects the lungs. Why? Because of the fact that the respiratory system is very, very delicate, moist mucous membranes. So a lot of times they start drying out. When they start drying out, we get inflammation, and that inflammation will cause the production of mucus in the trachea, the back, stuff like that. You see? Okay. Are you using a humidifier with her?
No.
Yeah, you might try that. Put a humidifier where she sleeps, and that's going to moisten. That's going to moisten the respiratory system, and a lot of times that'll really, really help. Okay. Now, if you had a mucus problem that was going on where she had mucus coming out of the eyes, she was coughing up mucus, she had mucus in her bowel movements, then we'd be talking about an overproduction of fluid that's becoming stagnant phlegm. Then we'd be talking about using stuff to get rid of that. But I don't think that's what we're dealing with. I think that's
No, it seems to build up and she'll eventually hack it out.
yeah.
Just when, you and I would spit it out and
Yeah,
she
she's
eventually hacks it out.
Yeah. But I bet you if you put a humidifier by her when she sleeps, that's going to help her. And
So it could just, part of the aging process. Of course, you get as your senior years, menopause, is Vata age of life, supposed to oil, moisturize.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think about it for her.
Yeah. So also too, when she's doing that hacking and stuff like that, she's going to get inflammation in the back of the throat. So we can give her a little bit of honey for that. Manuka honey's good. Okay.
Yeah, I've been doing that. Yeah.
Good,
Okay.
good. But I bet if you get those lungs moistened a bit, then she'll do a lot better.
Okay. Cool.
Give that a try.
Okay. And anything I am concerned about how much she is drinking. I mean, she'll drink a bowl and a half.
And she's on Romania 8.
Mm-hmm.
Did you tell me she's getting hot?
I don't know how to judge that.
Okay.
She's not seeking the cool or anything. Her sleeping pattern, resting patterns haven't changed other than she's older, so she's sleeping more, but not the location.
Okay. Well, I would be surprised if she would be seeking cool. So I'm sitting there thinking, why is she getting more yin deficient, even though she's on Romania 8? So you said
maybe I should try giving her one more capsule. I mean, she's kind of in between. Maybe I should try that.
So are you giving it twice a day or 3 times a day?
Twice a day.
Okay, go to 3 times.
Okay.
Yeah, go to 3 times a day, and that'll help.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all about getting some more moisture in her lungs. And like I said, when we start getting older, we start getting drier.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just about yin deficiency, it's also about blood deficiency. Because remember, blood's pure yin. So when we get blood deficient, we're going to get yin deficiency. So we're getting yin deficient, and then we're getting blood deficiency on top of that. And so that really starts drying out. That's why a lot of older people start getting really dry skin, and they walk around, they're putting moisturizer on themselves all the time. And that's all gray hair. That's all about blood deficiency. I noticed none of you guys have gray hair.
Oh, no.
None of you guys have blood deficiency. So.
Oh, everybody with gray hair has blood deficiency, including you?
Yep.
Is there something you
Really?
do about it?
Yeah. We start supplementing things that are blood tonification. I take an herb formula called Bugantang for blood deficiency. See how much more natural hair that I've got. So yeah,
I'm always told to take my Ayurvedic oil, Mia Vata, in Vata stage of life more than anything. Yeah. They emphasize it a lot. Now I understand more why. Okay.
My acupuncturist put me on Ease Plus. Do you know that, Dr. Thomas?
What?
Ease Plus. It's blue param or something and calcium.
I'd have to look at what the herbs that are in there because
Okay.
that sounds familiar, but I'm not familiar with that brand, that term. So
It's
what-
supposed to be calming.
Ease, the ease part.
yeah. So
What's
okay.
your dose?
Okay.
Ask
So,
one that does that for
are
me.
these Chinese herbs?
three times a day. Yes.
Okay. So all right.
Yeah.
So what is so calming? So what does that mean? It means that person is dealing with anxiety. Is that what we're talking about? Stress.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So if we're anxious or if we got anxiety, then we want to calm. Okay.
Mhm.
So what's the difference between anxiety and depression?
I have them both, so I don't know.
Okay.
They're linked.
So
They're linked.
So how do you feel if you're depressed?
Lethargic.
Feel like you want to go
Low
to bed?
and lethargic. Yeah.
Lethargic.
You want to go to bed. What about if
Yeah.
you've got anxiety? Do you feel like going to bed?
No, you can't sit still.
No, I clean everything.
You're wired. You're wired. So it's
Got
kind
to
of
move it.
it's kind of opposites. You see what I mean?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay. Depression is low energy. Anxiety is nervous energy. Okay. So this is one of the
But-
problems we have in Western medicine. I mean, in veterinary medicine is that we treat them all the same. It was kind of like, wait a minute, you're going to use something that's going to, you know what I mean? It doesn't work. That's why our drugs that we use for trazodone and stuff like that, they do poor jobs because we don't address what's actually going on with that energetic component. All right. So let's look at this because so many people deal with these emotions of depression and anxiety. So where do you think depression comes from?
It's yang, right? Isn't it very like earth? It's
Well, let's just talk about the practical aspects of anxiety. Okay. So if depression and anxiety are both emotions, right? You can feel it.
Mhm.
Okay. You can feel it. All right. So it's not thoughts. Okay. So, and we know that thoughts are connected to emotions. So what type of thought patterns do you think you have when you're depressed versus what kind of thought patterns do you have that creates anxiety?
I think when you're
You-
depressed, you're
they're
thinking
fearful.
about the past.
John had nailed it. What'd you say?
When you're depressed, you're thinking about the past, and when you're anxious, you're thinking about the future.
Bingo.
You're right.
You
Yeah.
nailed it. That is
Bing-
exactly the
bingo.
truth.
Mhm.
So people that are dealing with anxiety are unsure about what's going to happen in the future, and that's what stresses them. People that are
Mhm.
depressed are looking back and saying, this shouldn't have happened. You see, I should have done a better job. So you nailed it. You nailed it. So if you're staying depressed, you're focusing too much on the past. If you're being anxious and having anxiety, you're staying focused too much on the imaginative future. So what is the treatment for both of those?
Staying in the present.
Bingo.
yeah, in the now.
The now and the present now. Exactly.
Yeah.
Do not let those thoughts drift to the past or to the imaginative future.
Yeah, you catch yourself doing that in the middle of the night.
Yeah, you've got to do that. And so you see, and it's hard to do because we're so conditioned to let that energy take us away. So what happens when you start feeling depressed or you start feeling anxious? What do you do immediately? The first,
Breathe.
Breathe.
the
Breathe.
first thing you do is you be aware of it. I'm not feeling good. You're
Mhm.
aware of it. You recognize it. And then what do? Bingo, you nailed it. You turn your right back into your breathing. So you start your breathing and you're sitting there and about 20 seconds into your breathing, your mind starts thinking about it again and you just reel it back in and come back to your breathing, come back to your breathing.
Y-
And it
You
just,
don't identify with the thought.
yeah. And then what happens that those feelings and those thoughts, they just kind of dissipate and move off. And if they come back again in an hour, then you do it again. It's not complicated. It's just being committed to being aware. And it's the feeling. If you're not feeling bad, your body is sending you a message that I got a problem. and we're talking about emotional disturbances, feelings. And so you have to be aware of it. I don't feel good. Okay, why am I not feeling good? Oh, I'm anxious. Well, just, you've got to be aware, If you're not walking around with singing a song, then you need to focus your awareness on what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It's not hard. It's not hard, but it's breaking years and years of conditioning.
Habit. Mhm.
And that's the one beautiful thing about it's funny, we're talking about hairballs and my cat's over there acting like he's a hairball up. Thank you for showing us that. Yeah, you're a good boy.
Oh,
So
Those bhajans would be good for middle of the night talking in the
Yeah.
head.
yeah.
Drown those out.
Yeah, even if you're listening to them, and as long as you're not listening to them and then thinking about what you're doing at the same time, you just
No, you gotta focus on it.
Yeah, just be. And we're talking about direct consciousness. That's all it is just turning your awareness on what it is that's going to cause you to relax. Yeah, instead of turning your awareness on those thoughts or those feelings that are making you feel bad. I mean, how many people wake up in the middle of the night and immediately they start dealing with what they're going to have to deal with the next day?
Oh,
Most people do that, and then I don't know if you know Eckhart Tolle. Eckhart Tolle is really good about
yeah.
that's when you want to start doing your meditation.
Eckhart
Start
Tolle.
doing your breathing. Yeah,
He'll put you to sleep too.
it's the best.
that's right.
Yeah.
So, but again, you have to be aware of what's going on. You have to sit there and say, look at what my mind's doing. And I love it when Eckhart Tolle says, what are you going to do at 3 o'clock in the morning? You're going to get up and start taking care of that? No, you're not going to do that. You're not going to get out of bed. So put it off. I tell my mind, hey, I'm going to address this in the morning. I'm going to deal with all these things in the morning. And there's something about this rational mind that says, okay, I can deal with that. And it kind of just lets it go. And then you turn to your breathing, and then in no time you're back to sleep. If that doesn't work, then get up and have a glass of scotch. No.
Yeah. Bottle of wine.
Totally.
Okay. Jolene, did I answer your questions that you wanted to? Did we cover everything that you wanted, Jolene?
Uh-oh.
We lost.
Sorry, phone was on mute. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm gonna try the water and
Good.
thanks
Good.
for reminding me about the age and the dryness.
Okay. Anybody else? How about you with Chloe, Sabrina?
She's right here. She's doing really well, and I'm just really pleased with that news. And like I was badgering you about the gallbladder thing, and I guess my understanding is that it's common and nothing to worry about. So
It's real common. Did you see my deal about using dandelion root?
yes. And I wrote back because I was right in that aisle, standing in front of that supplement when you sent that message, and I looked at my phone, and I was like, boop, and I just plucked it off the shelf and added
Now
it to my
that was-
basket. So
That was a coincidence, wasn't it?
yeah, that was awesome.
Do
And I did. So sorry, go ahead.
we call that coincidence or synchronicity?
Yes.
There you go. What do you-
Well, so so I haven't run out of my Denamarin yet, but when I do, I'll do the Demasol or whatever that Sammy stuff is.
Yeah.
And then I do the milk thistle and the dandelion. But the
Yeah.
milk thistle that I got is from Chewy, and it's organic and it's powder, and it says take twice a day. So does it matter? Like my regular vet was like, I need to see the milligrams and it should be taken on an empty stomach. But on the thing it says take with food twice a day.
Mine does too. So I
Talk
do.
about the milk thistle or the Sammy?
The milk thistle.
Milk thistle.
Yeah, milk thistle you can give with food. Sammy, you need to give on an empty stomach.
Yeah.
What your vet was probably saying is Denamarin needs to be taken on an empty stomach. And
Denamarin does.
Yeah, and that's because of the Sammy, not because of the milk thistle. Remember,
Okay.
both are in Denamarin.
Okay, so it doesn't matter. Like I can do the milk thistle separately and then do the dandelion like
Yeah.
once a day or whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can use the dandelion the same time you use the milk thistle, but you can't.
Okay,
You
and-
have to do the SAMe on an empty stomach. It's really hard to absorb SAMe, and if you put it with food, it won't be absorbed. So-
Yeah, no, I never do. Okay.
So that's where
So it
that's why
doesn't-
he was confusing, was because he's not separating the SAMe and the milk thistle. He's talking about denamarin. Okay.
Okay. Okay,
See?
cool.
See how much more you know than he does?
Thank you. And
Okay.
a stupid question, but the smacking in the middle of the night, Chloe always starts smacking her lips around like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. and she wakes me up, and sometimes her tummy starts going and then I wake up and we do slippery elm at 3 a.m. But sometimes she just smacks and then I'm too tired to go down and do slippery elm and she just gets over it. Like, what is that smacking at 2
Nausea.
a.m.? But like, yeah, that's what I figured.
What
Is
what
it
does 2
from
a.m.
the
tell you?
gallbladder or the liver? It's like the liver cleaning time, right?
Liver. It's moving.
Yeah, 1 to 3.
Energy's moving through the liver. So yeah, so we got some liver thing that's going on that's waking her up. And when she wakes up
Oh.
nauseated and she's sitting there. So and you really don't need to give her slippery elm, but even if you wanted to give her just a little bit of food, that would curtail that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Like a little snack. Okay.
That's all about the liver. And that's what you're working on is, and using that liver 13, liver 14 points too.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll help. Okay.
All right. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Anything else?
Okay.
Anybody else? Okay.
On my book.
I know, I've got mine out too.
Well, that's a really good book, isn't it?
This is a great book.
Yeah, yeah.
Great book.
Cheryl's a really neat lady. She's been doing this stuff longer than I have. As a matter of fact, she was an instructor at Colorado when I took all my courses in Chinese medicine. She was one of our instructors. She's a delightful lady. She's an old hippie and a surfer. She's my age and she surfs. And
Cool.
yeah. And she, years ago when she, not to get political, but when George Bush got elected the second time, she got frustrated and moved to Europe and as her personal protest. And so then she got frustrated with Europe. And so she moved back to the US. So she's back now.
Oh, that's funny.
I
So,
don't need to be in an island in the middle of the ocean.
yeah, yeah.
What is the book called? 4 Paws?
4 Paws, 5 Directions.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's,
have to
and
get
I
that.
like it because she's got some nice illustrations in there, how to find it.
Oh, beautiful illustrations
Yeah.
and
And she's got some nice
Awesome.
descriptions of the 5 elements and stuff. So she does a
they're
really
great
good,
drawing.
it's written for the lay person and not for the clinician. So it's
Thank
really,
God.
it's an easy.
Yeah, I need to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was on my list of things to do and I got it right away. Because this is one of the things when I get to the book section of what I want to read.
Yeah. Her diagrams are it's a whole lot easier to find points if you have that book than
Yeah.
using that chart. That chart's just got too many points in one place. But that's an excellent reference for finding points. And also where
Awesome.
how the points work. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm definitely
really
gonna
good.
order that.
I've got
Yeah.
I've got a copy of it myself, so. Okay, well, hi,
Great.
Chloe. Hi,
Look at her smile.
Yeah.
Isn't that cute?
Sabrina, you know one of my dogs' name is Chloe?
Yes,
Yeah,
I do.
yeah,
Awesome.
okay. All right, so
Mm.
Lisa just came in and shook her finger at me, meaning that I've been rambling on. And it's
So I'm
not,
gonna start with spleen 6 and work my way around.
yeah, and don't forget pericardium 6 too, because there still might be some nausea too.
Okay.
And remember, what else is pericardium 6 good for? And this is a point that I would be using for you, Sabrina.
Mhm.
Why?
For anxiousness or
Okay, anxiety, depression, those are all in Chinese medicine. We call that Shen imbalance. And the number
Okay.
one point for Shen imbalance is pericardium 6.
wow.
Yeah. feel good point.
Okay.
All right. And so I'm sure if your acupuncturist is treating you for depression or anxiety, then they're treating pericardium 6. I promise you that. If not, then find another acupuncturist.
No, I'm sure she is. And there's something in the side of the hand that she's always going into. It's the when you link it with the ankle and the side of the hand, it's the doma something.
Yeah.
The
do mine.
yeah.
Small intestine 3 and bladder 62. That's on the outside
Yeah.
of this metacarpal.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So, but we're talking about this one here. This one right here is really important for you. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if she's done that. Interesting.
That's the number 1 point for shin imbalance.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to do a guided, we're going to do a healing meditation, not so much guided. What we're going to do is what I would like to do is I would like to be sending my healing loving energy to all the people out there that have recently lost pets, or anybody that is preparing themselves to lose a pet. Okay. I think of Beth. Beth lost a kitty cat within the last week or so. We all know Robin over in Hawaii. I don't know. I think I posted that she lost Huxley a few weeks ago.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that's why she hasn't been on recently.
Oh, no.
So we've had some people lose things recently, and I just been inundated with a lot of people that are really, really having a hard time emotionally with the fact that they're probably going to lose their pets. So I just feel the need to send out some healing energy to all those people and their pets. So that's what I'm going to do is I'll just lead the meditation, and then we'll go into a silent deal, and then just you personally just do whoever you want to direct your healing energy to. Just do that and be there with the feelings. Remember, it's all about feelings. It's about the feelings. All right. So just do that with me, whoever you want to. And then we'll do that for probably 8 or 10 minutes, and then we'll call it a night. Okay.
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 So I've got some music somewhere here. Can you guys hear that?
Not really.
Hi.
There we are.
Yes.
That's better.
Can you hear that? Okay. All right, just take some deep breaths, sit in your chair and sink in and relax. I want you to put your hands over your heart. There's something very intimate about your hands. So I want you to put them over your heart. And then follow that breath into that sweet, sweet silent spot, that empty space. I want you to turn your awareness on that life energy that flows through you, that feeling of being alive. that energy that gives you life. I want you to turn your attention on that. Feel that living energy flow that flows through you. That's that sacred energy that wakes you up every morning. It gives you consciousness to experience this moment. So connect with it. Let that energy just flow through you, fill you completely, moving through you, all around, emitting from you. And bring into that awareness those people, those sentient beings that you want to direct healing for. Just bring them into that living energy that you have. Bring them into that heart energy. By doing that, you're blessing them, directing healing, giving them unconditional love. So I want you to spend some time connecting with them, that loving energy, connecting with them, healing them. Okay, so let's turn our attention back into our body, back into your breathing. When you feel like it, just open your eyes and come back into the room. Everybody doing all right?
Yep.
Okay,
Mhm.
Yeah.
feeling
Mhm.
very good. Well, thanks again. I really, really, really appreciate you guys coming and
Thank you.
being. Jonathan,
Thank you.
wonderful having you again.
Thank you. So
Buddy,
great to be
Linda,
back.
glad you're feeling better. Jolene,
Thanks.
I brought your parents into my sphere, so hopefully we can help. Okay, well, I'm going to leave it with you.
All right. Everybody be well.
Okay, I'm going to give you a homework assignment, okay? I
Okay.
thought about this the
Ooh,
other day when I was out doing a walk, and I think this is going to be good for you, okay?
Mhm.
I want you to make it a point that, and it's going to make you feel uncomfortable in the beginning, but I want you to do it anyway. When you're out walking on the street and you come in contact with a stranger, somebody walking towards you, I just want you to put your hand on your heart and look at them. Okay? That's all I want you to do. Just put your hand on your heart and acknowledge their presence. Okay? That's all.
Do we
Okay.
nod to them or anything?
Just look at them. Just
Okay.
they'll know you're acknowledging their presence.
Eye
Okay?
contact.
Yeah, just make but put your hand on your heart.
Mm,
You know,
heart to heart contact.
everybody, you know what this is? That's the namaste.
Uh-huh.
That's what, I mean, if you go overseas, I don't know if you've been a lot of places over there, you go and every time you meet, they give you this, the namaste sign. And all you're doing is that when you do this, you're recognizing that they are the same source energy that you are. You're recognizing their source and your source is the same, that you are the same as them. And that's for your benefit. Okay. It's a remembrance, it's a mindful act that's saying that I recognize the source in you is the same source that it is in me. And if you do that and it gets comfortable and you do that, I promise you, it will change your life. It will change your life. And it's really, really hard to do because people here in the United States are not used to having that done to them. And so it's going to be uncomfortable a bit, but in no time you'll start feeling good about doing it. And it's what you're doing is you're blessing them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Try it. I know
I like it.
it's gonna get out of your comfort zone, but I promise you, if you work through that discomfort, it will make you feel good. It will actually make you feel good. Okay.
Good deal.
Give it a
Thank you.
try.
I've actually, Paul Farini's my favorite author, and he has one of his practices, breathe through your heart.
There you go.
And as you breathe through your heart, send that love, send love
Yeah.
from your heart and start easy. Right? Send love to my dogs.
Yeah.
And then I kept practicing until I took it up a notch and I sent love to somebody on the metro train in DC at the other end of the train. Who needs this?
Yeah.
It took me a while to get there.
Yeah, that's a living meditation. It is, and it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. But this is just something that you do, and it becomes
Mm-hmm.
a conscious thing that
But I
it's
like,
a reminder. It's a reminder that you're blessing them, and in blessing them, you're blessing yourself. Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's a really
the more powerful to recognize you're saying that it's for me.
Yep.
And in my phrase, it's recognizing your humanity. You are here on this earth as a human trying to do this thing called life, just like I am.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
All right.
Thanks again.
Thank you,
Namaste,
Dr.
everybody.
Thomas.
Have a
All
great
right.
evening.
Thank
Okay.
you.
See you.
Bye.
Ready?
Bye.